Hi, everybody, and welcome to this short English lesson where we are going to talk about the difference between these two commonly mistaken words, for and since. We're going to look at them and see what the differences are between them and how we can use them correctly when we talk about things in the past. So let's start with our sentence here. We have a sentence at the bottom that says, I have lived here, and we need to complete the sentence. Now, this is normally when you're going to see these expressions is after a sentence like this in the present perfect tense, something like this that says, I have lived here, right? I have lived, I have been, something like this. Okay, and so we can think of this in an interesting way. Let's draw a timeline here. So let's get a timeline, and we can say, I have lived here, and we're going to have a point in the past that continues until now, right? So we're going to have a point in the past when I started living here, and it's going to continue until now, right? So we have the point in the past that continues until now. Now, we can look at this in two different ways. We can see the first way where we focus on this right here. We focus on the point, on the starting point, right? The thing that began in this sentence, right? So I started living here. Or we can focus on the amount of time, right? If we want to talk about how long, we can talk about the amount of time. So we use these two words to describe these two different points or these two different ideas. If we say for, then we're focusing on the time. We're focusing on the amount of time, more specifically, right? So that's this part right here in the sentence. We're focusing on this, the amount of time. This can look like this. It can look like 5 years. So we could say for 5 years. That's one option, 5 years. It could be for 2 days, right? Another amount of time for 2 days. Or we could say for my whole life. Sorry for that end there. My whole life, we could also say. Right, so I could say for 5 years, for 5 days, or for my whole life. All right, these are amounts of time. Or we can focus on the point. That's this part right here. We can focus on the starting point. Right, so with since, we focus on the point. And so that can look like this. We could say since last night. Since last night. That's an option. We could say since 2 o'clock. Since 2 o'clock, a point in the past, since 2 o'clock. Or we can say since I was young, I was younger, I was younger. Since I was a child, right? Since I was a child. So a point in the past that continues until now. So let's look back at our sentence here where we say, I have lived here. And let's finish the sentence using both of our words. So we could say, I have lived here. And let's start with since. I have lived here since October. Since October. This needs to be a capital O here. Since October. Or I could say, I have lived here for 1 year. All right, so an amount of time. Okay, so next time you're talking about an amount of time for something that started in the past and continues until the present, you can now use these two words correctly. You can say for to describe the amount of time, or since to say the point that it began. All right, I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next one.